What's up, duelists? A brand new banger episode of 12 Days of Teledad coming to you fresh off the press. I've been dealing with a lot of internet issues lately, but I was able to record one match through all of the insufferable lag that both the DB servers and my ISP have been giving me. And you know what? It's a pretty good match, so I'm excited to show you guys that. Before we get into that, just a reminder that RBET LA, the double header RBET. If you guys missed the announcement stream, we talked about this. We are doing two RBETs the weekend of RBET LA, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. One full RBET on Saturday and one full RBET on Sunday. Signups for the Sunday, the double header, just opened. If you are coming to Collectors Expo and you are a part of the Saturday RBET already and you want to participate in the next day, you will need to purchase another sign up for that tournament as well because it is a completely separate tournament. Just a heads up. And this one is going fast. I think the Saturday is almost sold out and Sunday is going fast. So check the description below for a link to find signups for this. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord or write a comment below and I'll get back to you guys on the RBT stuff. Anyway, back to the build. So this is a terrible build. No, I'm just kidding. This is a very experimental build. I was messing around with a few different ideas. One of the ideas was abusing the powerful Cosmic Fortress Golgar in a Teledad build. You can reuse Fiendish Chain, Call of the Haunted, Swords of Revealing Light, or Future Fusion in this build. So you have 5 very nice targets to put back in your hand with Cosmic Fortress Golgar. And in the sideboard, you've got 2 copies of Royal Decree, which are additional cards that you can bounce with the Golgar. On top of that, he's just a 1 normal summon 2600 beat stick that is also a light, which is really nice. Contributes to the Chaos Sorcerer in the main deck here. And then another really cool thing about this deck is that it gets to play 1-for-1. We have a bunch of different light 1-star tuners and multiple copies of Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Now, I think that many of you guys who have watched this series so far have noticed that this card is awesome. This card is really, really good. It allows you to go for a bunch of different OTKs, and there's a whole bunch of different ways you can make it in this build, whether it's 1-for-1 Pitch Malicious, Special Summon Ammonite, or whether it's Chaos Sorcerer plus Emergency Teleport, or any of the billions of different ways that you can piece this guy together. Something like a Bryonic plus a Mind Master, some crazy thing like that, Call of the Haunted something back, and then piece it all together. That's awesome. And you can even go for double Ancient Sacred Wyvern plays in this build as well. The side deck is where things get a little bit weird. I am side decking 5 extra deck monsters. Yeah, this isn't optimal. I actually don't think that this is correct at all in any way, shape, or form, but I was just stunting. You know what I mean? I was just stunting. Some matchups you might want the Android over the second Wyvern. Let's say they're like rushing you down. Probably don't want to be summoning Wyvern too much if you're going to be lower on the life points. Double Chimera Tech for machines, and then Zombie Master plus Doomkaiser and Revive King to steal the opponent's Plague versus the zombie decks. Or you could even just use your own Plague if you want to as well with the Zombie Master. So that's pretty cool. The Alien package is quite small. It allows you to use Future Fusion to reveal Gaia and Absolute Zero. This deck is a whole mashup of different things happening, and it's just beautiful. What can I say? You can either send Malicious and Alien Hypno off of Future Fusion to summon Absolute Zero, or you can send Alien Warrior or Alien Shock Trooper plus Stratos by revealing Elemental Hero Gaia. That's just the vibes. Gaia also particularly useful in this deck because he's a level 6, which will allow you to ladder into that Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Let's go ahead and hop into the replay. Now, keep in mind, I was dealing with some internet issues, so we're going to watch it on fast forward. This is why I haven't been able to record gameplay the last few days for you guys. Technician's coming out tomorrow. We should be back to the regularly scheduled programming, but wanted to get this episode out, and I've just been frustrated. What can I say? I just got to force through it. Just got to force through the issues. Anyway, opening hand pretty strong. We got Teleport Caius. We got Allure. I decided to just set 2 and pass. If they have Heavy Storm, they have Heavy Storm. Anyway, opponent's got Upstart Goblin. And then he's got Black Whirlwind. So very real matchup. Very, very real matchup. Shura is going to trigger the Black Whirlwind, and he is going to try and search for something. Just kidding. I've got Torrential Tribute. I considered just Typhooning the Whirlwind and like baiting a bigger Torrential later on. I was just a little bit worried he might have Kalut. He does. So it's a good thing I did not hold off on the Torrential. I think running the Shock Trooper into Kalut would have gotten me a one-way ticket to being owned. That being said, I could have gone for E-Tele, Caius, banish the Shura, and then preserve the Torrential a little bit, but it's just so awkward playing 2 cards into my own Torrential like that. I really didn't like that. I decided to just Torrential away the Shura. I draw Stratos, which is perfect. I go ahead and fire him off, and I search Malicious. Now I don't have another summon stop, which is annoying, so something like Blizzard could be really problematic for us. We decide to Allure. We find Trunade and Fiendish, so this is why we were playing Trunade in the main instead of Heavy Storm, because it combos well with our Fiendish and with our Call of the Haunted and with our Swords of Revealing Light. Attack for 1800. I could have E-Tele'd here and done more damage, but I figured the extra 12 doesn't matter, and I may want to save the E-Tele Caius play for later on. Set the Fiendish and pass. This is why we allured. We wanted to draw a trap card to interact with Blizzard. He tries to summon the Blizzard, I Fiendish, and he decides to activate Whirlwind after he tried to summon Shrez. I asked him to please declare his effects because they form a chain, and I understand what he was trying to go for, and he understands, so he respectfully thumbs ups there. He sets his Icarus attack and passes the turn back. We draw into Caius. Here we just keep it simple. Try to Trunade, because I think if I can bounce back the Fiendish, I'm going to be in a pretty damn good spot. I was hoping that his new set was Icarus and that he would target Stratos plus the Typhoon, because I would actually much rather keep the Fiendish than the Stratos here. But the Stratos is good pressure, so I can't really complain. And the Typhoon is a chainable, and the Fiendish already got its value, so it's just quite a bit of like things going right for us here. He is going to be able to eat the Trunade, though, so that is kind of lost advantage there. But still, we're not in too bad of shape. Summon the Shock Trooper, and then attack for 3700. We know he has that one back row in his hand. I was really trying to figure out if there was a way we could have killed him here. So that's 6200. Ancient Sacred Wyvern would be at 3900. If I E-Tele out a 1-star tuner, there's just no way for me to get Caius and the Ancient Sacred Wyvern into play in the same turn. I would have had to go for the Caius instead of something like the Trunade. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So alas, we didn't get to pull off an Ancient Sacred Wyvern play here. But he keeps feeding us with Upstart Goblin. Sorry, it would have been like, what was it, 4,900? Because he had upstarted. Not 3,900, 4,900. But still not enough to kill him. He was at 62. So he summons value, sets a couple back row, passes the turn back. We draw Swords of Revealing Light. I'm like, alright, that's not bad. That can maybe buy us some time. Let's just go ahead and attack. He decides to burn his Kalut here to kill the Shock Trooper. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty annoying. But now it means we're not going to play into another Icarus attack. So we can just sack for Caius. And if he wants to Icarus us here, he'll have to blow up his own card, which is nice. He chains Bottomless, but we get a deal 1,000. He drops to 1,500, so pretty low from the opponent there. Activate Swords of Revealing Light. He has Dark-Armed Dragon, so pretty good job from the opponent. He did have to use a couple upstarts, though, so our life total is pretty high. Maybe we're not just dead. Banishes, pops the swords, attacks for 28, sets a new background, passes, I believe. Yep. We draw into Alien Warrior. That's a lethal threat, but we got to get this Dark-Armed Dragon out of play. So, got to go for the E-Tele. We know that this is Deep Prison because I hovered over it, but this guy's also not an actionable trap here, thankfully. If he had Royal Oppression here, if he had Deck Devastation Virus here, well, Deck Devastation Virus we could have played through with the Alien Warrior. But Royal Oppression, that would have been tricky. I think we would have lost. Anyway, we get the Krebins because he is a dark. I actually contemplated getting the Mind Master because it'd be a light and a dark plus Caius, but I figured, you know, better to get closer to Dad. Also, leaving Krebins in deck is a little bit better than leaving Mind Master in deck. I thought about that for a while. I'm not sure which was better there, but either way, we end up going for Caius, and that resolves. So we are able to threaten lethal here, and he's got Deep Prison, and we pass. He draws a new card. He sets it. It's Solemn Judgment. He solemns the Alien Warrior. We go for Future Fusion. We reveal Absolute Zero. We send Malicious and Alien Hypno and pass the turn back. He draws a card, and he concedes. He must have forgotten that we alert away our Malicious. He must think that we're going to be able to banish Malicious and attack him for 800. So, because of that, he concedes the game a little bit prematurely here. But I think we were in a very good spot. He would have been able to Typhon the Future Fusion, but pretty much any monster we draw besides Mind Master is going to kill him here. So, very high likelihood we just win the game. But he definitely wasn't just dead yet. A little bit of a premature concession. But pretty impressive. I mean, like, our little alien garbage deck was able to beat a Black Whirlwind and a Dark Armed Dragon and, like, a Resolved Icarus attack and a whole bunch of really good effects. And that goes a long way to say why a deck is good. Anyway, this game he also has Whirlwind, so 2 games Whirlwind. He's got upstarts, so it's going to happen more often, but still pretty unlucky on our part for him to have it twice. Special synchros into Blackwing Armor Master. Usually this is like a tell that he has maybe a deck dev, or he's trying to set up a value play. He sits back row, passes back to us. Our hand is pretty bad. We can Foolish and Plague into Bionic, but it just puts us really far behind, so I decided to just set 2 and pass. He summons Blizzard, he brings back Bora. We both had to refresh there because the Dueling Book servers are, how do I say it? Carved into stone, is what I should say. Anyway, he synchros into Bionic. He goes for a priority bounce pitching value, and I'm like, okay, so that makes sense why he was going for the Armor Master. He's trying to set up a value play. Thankfully, for us, he loses a 50-50, and we're able to chain Bottomless there, and that's very nice for us, so... Yeah, he attacks for 25. I decided not to Mirror Force here because then he just makes Silverwind and he has 3 Darks. As of right now, I'd like to keep it so he has 4 Darks in grave. Passes it back to us. We draw Krebins. Gonna just sit on the Krebins for a little while. He sets, he attacks. Once again, same thing. I want to save the Mirror Force for a little bit more than just one guy. Draw for turn is Bottomless. Summon the Alien Hypno. We're able to make Bionic here, which is pretty good. We're able to bounce the Armor Master. And this resolves. So, at this point, I'm starting to get a little scared, right? I'm starting to get a little worried that he might have Starlight Road. Because what would he have not used at this point? Literally everything would have gotten used. Literally everything would have gotten used. He flips Deep Prison. Okay, makes sense. I set Bottomless, and I pass. He sets a back row, passes. We have the Shock Trooper. We're going to go for the attack, the 1900. Pass the turn back. He has Sirocco, but we have the second Bottomless. Lucky enough. So once again, kind of holding our own against a very powerful Black Whirlwind start, going second, and the deck is still capable of doing things. So yeah, turns out that you can do some cool shit. Here he tries to use value, but this must be his first time using this card in this capacity. You can't actually use this card with 4 stars or 3 stars. You have to use it with 5 stars or higher in Edison format. Value requires exactly 1 non-tuner Blackwing. So you can't use it with multiple non-tuner Blackwings, and on top of that, there's only 1 non-tuner Blackwing in his entire graveyard anyway, so he wouldn't be able to do that with Gale regardless. Draw for turn is Future Fusion. I attack again for 1900. I could have gotten a little bit greedier here. I could have gone for Foolish Plague, and then Stack, and then Synchro, and then just attack for a bunch. And in hindsight, I really should have. I really should have tried to put a Stardust Dragon into play, because I think Stardust plus Mirror Force really solidifies the game for me. I was a little bit worried about him going into Bionic, but he's banished Bionic. I've banished Bionic. Why am I being so bad? I should definitely have gone into Stardust here. It was a pretty big error on my part. I should have Foolish for Plague, Stacked for Plague, shuffled away with the Malicious, and then Synchronized Stardust, normal summon Dark Grepher, and then tried to attack with everything. That should have been my play for sure. It was just the wrong play not doing that. I go for Future Fusion, revealing Elemental Hero Gaia. I actually think if I do that, I win the game. So, yeah, pretty stupid play on my part. He does have Gozen Match. That would have made it a little bit more annoying. We would have had to sack our Shock Trooper, but it's still fine. You know what I mean? Anyway, he decides to attack. I could Mirror Force here, but then it just turns on as a value. So, once again, that value looming. And I'm really regretting at this point not going for that play that I went for. So, pretty fucking unfortunate. I draw a Heavy Storm, and I'm like, oh, shit, that's pretty nice. Provided I Mirror Force this turn, I can Heavy Storm the next turn, and then I'm just back in the game. He searches Bore the Spear. He attacks. Or he decides to search Blizzard instead, which is fine. He attacks. I flip Mirror Force. He flips Road, and I die on the spot. So, it should have been a 2-0 victory on my end, but I'm ass. So, what can I say? It's been a minute. I've been playing too much Pokemon TCG lately. I'm almost at Arceus rank. I decided to play this latter season. Boys, I'm going to make a vid. I'm going to make a Pokemon vid soon. That game is just too fun. It's so good. Oh, man, that game is amazing. It's just so much fun. And anyway, This game, I start off with the Pro Heavy Storm. Shout out Pro Storm. And set Sangan. My hand's an interesting one. We got a bunch of different ways to get to our guys. Foolish Burial could maybe get us to Mali. And that could get us somewhere. I'm not really sure. Upstart Goblin. Set, pass. Turn 1, dust shoot. Pretty brutal. As you can see here, opponent's got the... he's got what he needs. I'll just say that much. He's got what he needs. He takes the Caius. Very, very unfortunate. That Caius would have smoked him here. It would have been game over. If we were able to resolve that Caius, it would have been game over. Either way, I go for a Heavy Storm. He goes for Road, and I'm just like, man, suck my balls. This fucking sucks. Now I have to burn my whole hand just to deal with his stupid board. I Foolish Shock Trooper, normal Ammonite, special the Shock Trooper, flip the Sangan, synchro into Thought Ruler, and then activate Sangan to search my follow-up Ammonite. So now I have a follow-up play, which is pretty good, and Thought Ruler will deal with both the cards in play. So Thought Ruler's going to attack. He's going to activate D-Prison. I'm going to pay the 1,000 that he gave me off the upstart, and then he's going to negate the Thought Ruler with his Stardust. So pretty smart play from the opponent there, but it is going to be a 2-for-1 for us, which is pretty nice. 2 for 2 because I had to spend the Foolish. So we are down a card still. Hand looking kind of bad, but we do have one piece of a follow-up play that can maybe ladder into a Black Rose. He draws for turn. He activates one of his 2 Black Whirlwinds. He summons Gale, searches value, attacks for 1,300, sets his new back row, which is going to be Deep Prison, and passes the turn back. We draw into 1-for-1, so yet again, more tuner access. Really not what we need right now. We need something like a Stratos along those lines. I'm going to summon Ammonite. I'm going to synchro into Golgar. I'm going to E-Telly out Krebins, and then I'm going to Black Rose the field. I don't want to play into another Deep Prison, Mirror Force, that sort of thing. Once the Golgar resolved, I also don't want to play into a Kalut here. That would be really, really awful for us. I decided to just clear the Whirlwind, take no chances on the back row. If it's another Starlight, I fucking deserve this, but alas, here we are. Blow up the field, pass the turn back, and he draws into his 3rd Deep Prison. So he's got the value plus attack for 800, and he's going to set the Deep Prison to pass. We rip Rhoda, which is amazing. Unfortunately for us, we've taken damage this game, and our opponent hasn't. So we would have been able to put together a really cool play here with the, Ancient Sacred Wyvern. But alas, here we are, folks. Search the Malicious. We attack. He decides to let it die and not Deep Prison the Stratos. Interesting choice, but any monster he draws combos with the Whirlwind to clear the Stratos, so I understand his logic. He rips Sirocco off the top, so I'm just sitting here like, well, I've been Whirlwinded 4 times in 3 games, and I should have won last game, so I deserve this. He searches Blizzard, which is an interesting choice because he has nothing to get back with it besides guilt, but I respect it. He attacks over the Stratos. We take 200, and now things are looking rough, right? We draw into Call of the Haunted, which is a pretty strong draw here. I am under the impression that I need to kill this Sirocco or I'm going to die. And I don't know why I think that, but I could have not done that. I don't know how to describe it. What I was trying to do was instigate some sort of situation where I go 1-for-1, pitch Mally, special Mind Master, normal Plague, synchro to Dark End. Dark End pop the Sirocco. He burns all his resources the next turn. He goes for the value. He goes for the Blizzard, bring back Gale. He runs over my guys. And then after he burns his resource, he synchros with his Blizzard and the Armed Wing. After he does all that, I call the Haunted, and then I have the last threat. That was kind of my thought process here. Because I'm like, otherwise he just goes Blizzard, bring back Gale, synchro to Stardust. And it's just like, he has the Armed Wing after that. It like starts to fall apart really quick if I don't kill this Sirocco this turn. So I 1-for-1, special summon my master, banish the malicious. I'm also trying to bait like some sort of Icarus attack. 2 Deep Prisons are gone, so I'm like, what are the chances he has a 3rd Deep Prison? It could be Mirror Force, I don't know. It could be Dust Shoot, a dead Dust Shoot, but he probably would have used Dust Shoot here, so I don't really know. Anyway, I synchro to Dark End, I pop the Stroke, and I'm like, oh shit, that just works. So now I've got Dark End, and then I can attack for 21, and he decides to use his Deep Prison. So that's a little bit of a misstep from the opponent here. He has plenty of life. He could just take the 21, save his Deep Prison, on his turn summon the Blizzard, bring back Gale, and then run over the Dark End. So, yeah, a little bit of a wasted resource, in my opinion. He banishes the Dark End. Big issue about us going for all this play, though, is that Dark Arm Dragon is now kind of off the table, at least for another turn. If I top deck it next turn, I can't. But if I survive another turn beyond that, then I can use it because I could stack for Plague and then call one of the Darks. Anyway, here he decides to go for his Armed Wing, and then he summons a Blizzard. So exactly what I wanted to happen happened, and on top of that, he spent his back row. So it just like kind of worked out really, really nicely here. His last card's Kalut. That doesn't really do anything. He's gonna go for Thought Ruler, gains the 100 off the My Master, and I top deck Alien Warrior. And this is a really interesting moment, because I have a couple different ways where I can clear his board. I could have made like Goyo take the Thought Ruler, but then he still has the Gale. You know, it's like all awkward. I decided to go for normal Alien Warrior and normal Call of the Haunted back Ammonite, make the second Golgar. And this is actually really, really nice. Golgar here can now bounce the Black Whirlwind and the Call of the Haunted, get 2 A counters. And now we have the call again for follow-up, which can get us either Thought Ruler or another Golgar or whatever we need to get. So that ended up working out really, really well. Alien Warrior being a great top deck. Call of the Haunted is just like so busted in this deck. You can just keep reusing it with Cosmic Fortress. We remove the 2 tokens, pop the Thought Ruler, run over the Gale, keep it simple, set the Call of the Haunted, pass the turn back. He draws into Dark Arm Dragon. Well, he has 4 Darks. So very, very lucky that we were able to top deck the Alien Warrior, kill both of his threats, and put him to 4 Darks here. He does have a line where he can activate Black Whirlwind, summon Kalut, and search for another Blizzard, and try to set up a Catastrophe play, but that's just going to get run over by the Call of the Haunted. Now we've drawn Bottomless Trap Hole, so we're super duper far ahead. I attack for 2,600. I Call of the Haunted back Thought Ruler Archfiend with the intent of actually bouncing the Call of the Haunted main phase 2 and concealing the Bottomless Trap Hole in case he has Space Typhoon. And he's just had enough. He just concedes. He's going to take 27. We're going to be able to bounce the Call. The Thought Ruler will die, but then we'll be able to set Bottomless and Call. We'll have 2 really good back row. He won't really have a great play here that'll get him back into this game. And then we should be able to go for game the next turn quite easily because he'll be at 1,800. And we'll be top decking Fiendish Chain on top of that, which is awesome. So really cool little brew. This was a very long game because of the lag and because of my internet issues. So I'm not going to be able to record another one for you guys today. But definitely try this out. I think there's some merit here. I actually think that there's something here. Some type of overlap. And there's some cards that could be pretty interesting to try out. Offering to the Snake Deity. You could try a build with like maybe Dandelion and Vasky as like an additional dark. That also works with Offering to the Snake Deity. There's a couple different... There's a Reptilian guys. I don't know if any of these are dark. Some of them are dark, right? The good one is water. That's unfortunate. But this guy's dark. I don't know. You can maybe figure something out here. But I kind of liked this. The way it was. Ammonite being able to make Ancient Sacred Wyvern is really cool. My Master, obviously making it is really cool. Getting the light count high enough where you get to play Chaos Sorcerer. This was kind of gas. I think that those games really looked cool too because look at what my opponent drew. He had Whirlwind all 3 games. He had Dad 2 of the games. He had all his good back row. He resolved Starlight Road twice. You know what I mean? Like, we were able to fight through a lot of really cool stuff thanks to the power of Call of the Haunted and Cosmic Fortress Golgar. So, yeah, maybe there's something here. I actually think that there might legit be, like, some type of Teledad alien chaos crossover that exists in the meta in the future. As weird as it sounds, I think that this might be I think we maybe finally found the home for this weird-looking guy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And don't forget to sign up for RBET LA either day 1 or day 2. Come through. It's going to be a banger event. More RBET announcements hopefully coming very soon in the next couple of weeks. I have been working on some stuff behind the scenes. I'm very excited to talk to you guys about other locations that RBET will be visiting this year. See you guys in the next one. Peace.